It's a vast, unexplored territory, and we really have no idea what lives down there.
I might need therapy after this one. You guys sent me a video called Thalassophobia. Now, I don't know what that is, but it's apparently a fear that I'm pretty sure I have because I watched the first clip of this to see if I would like this video. Y'all sent it to me. And I nearly dropped chocolate, man. I would rather be rejected. I would rather try to hit on Mike Tyson's girlfriend than do this. I'm not gonna do this. No, 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 no. No, complete. Hey, come on now. Okay, we back. I'm back. I'm back now. I'm back. Help! What's good, nigga? What's really hood, bitch? Play with me, motherfucker. Oh, shit! Looks like I had to put on pants for this one. Right, let's, since this is what we're doing now.
Our planet is covered in water.
Oh, shit.
This water is what gives life to every living creature on it.
Shit.
Without it, nothing here would live. It is a source of extreme beauty, where many colourful and interesting things live. It is as deep as it is vast, and it's incomprehensibly big. It's also violent and dangerous.
Oh boy! Oh! Ah!
Throughout our entire existence, we've attempted to traverse and tame these oceans. But the ocean has a fierce temper.
Shit!
And it constantly reminds us that at any moment, that temper can lash out.
Nigga!
So what is thalassophobia? It comes from the Greek words thalassa, which means sea, and phobos, which means fear. So the literal translation is fear of the sea. But that's a bit too simplistic.
Ah! Come on! Come on! Alright, now I agreed to do this, but y'all can't do that. Don't you do this shit to me! Don't you do this shit to me! Hold up!
According to the Psychiatric Bible, which dictates how all psychological conditions are classified, the DSM-5, thalassophobia is defined as a persistent, excessive, and unreasonable fear of deep water.
Man! Ain't shit unreasonable about it, bitch!
Often have a very varied experience of what this means to them, but there are some common threads which link them all together. Essentially, it's being scared of the bleak, dark, and unforgiving ocean. And maybe that means being afraid of being stuck in the middle of it, or being stuck in the deep of it.
See, I'm about to thug my way through
Maybe
this
it
shit,
means
you know what I'm
being
saying?
afraid of being trapped underneath
This
it
might be the
and drowning.
scariest video I ever saw in my
Maybe it
life.
means being lost at sea,
I'm about to thug
and
my
the
way through
eerie
this
sounds that you might hear while trapped there.
shit. Word.
Or maybe it means being afraid of what might lurk inside it.
Exactly. Yeah, I know it don't exist, but that don't mean my brain don't show it to me when I look underwater.
A lot of things about this phobia make
Shit!
logical sense.
This is
And if I do my
horrifying.
best to turn off the parts of my brain that make me feel like panic vomiting, we can explore it.
Yep. Okay, turn off the parts of
To
my
begin
brain.
with, human beings don't belong in the ocean.
Yeah, we don't.
Our bodies can barely withstand even the slightest bit of depth pressure
See, there's no
before
point.
we're crushed to death. The average person can't hold their breath for more than a minute or so, and our limbs are not suited to traversing underwater. Literally everything which lives in the ocean can do all those things. Some of those horrific creatures actually live down there permanently. When you're in the ocean, you have to realize you are its plaything.
Yeah.
And the ocean
I don't like
has a
that.
very cold heart.
I don't like being nothing's plaything. You feel me? It's not in my DNA.
For as long as I can remember, I've hated underwater sections of every single video game I've ever played.
No, I like
I used to chalk it up to panicking about my character drowning.
I don't do this.
But I realised over time that when I played games with no danger of drowning, my palms would still get cold and sweaty, my heart would still race, and I would constantly feel an intense nausea deep in my stomach that would eventually force me to quit, even though there's zero danger whatsoever to me or my character. This was about when I realised I had a phobia that I'd never heard of and never really been able to properly convey to people. I still didn't really know what in particular caused it.
No Subnautica.
I know it started with a few
Subnautica. Help! I don't like this game. It's too realistic. Oh, Jaws ain't scary. Okay, we good.
I saw Jaws when I was very young.
Thank you, God.
Because
Jaws
I was fascinated
scary.
by sharks. I
Jaws
still
ain't
am.
Scary.
And while the movie did give me some pretty intense nightmares well into my early 20s, it didn't really trigger the phobia.
Yeah, it don't
just
trigger
kind of
the
made
phobia,
me aware
bro.
of it.
It doesn't trigger the phobia.
Interestingly, the image which I always found the most striking and scary from the movie was this one. I both love and hate this shark. Now, sees the kitten boy disappear in a bath of blood.
I deserve this shit.
That perfectly exemplifies how
scary.
I feel when I see that overhead shot.
Ah!
It's superb camera work, and it was the very first thing to properly trigger my phobia. Images like this are common triggers for people with this phobia.
Oh, shit.
During Jaws, Quint tells a particularly harrowing story of his time serving aboard the USS Indianapolis. The Indianapolis was a World War II cruiser assigned with the task of delivering parts of one of the atomic bombs which would eventually be dropped on the innocent people of Hiroshima. On the 30th of July 1945, just after midnight, the Indianapolis was returning from its mission when the ship suffered two large explosions as torpedoes from a nearby Japanese submarine hit their target, causing massive damage. Because it was midnight and pitch black, this caused massive panic, as nobody knew what had happened. In just 12 minutes, the ship was pulled to its grave at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, taking 300 sailors with it. The 900 which escaped had a much more terrifying fate waiting for them.
What? No!
Many of the crew had fuel in their eyes and injuries from the explosion, and they quickly succumbed to their injuries. The ones who remained assumed that Navy rescue would pick them up the following morning once notice of their sinking reached the Navy. However, the ship sunk so quickly, and with so many of its crew unprepared, that no message was ever sent to the Navy, and due to how naval ships were tracked during this time, the Navy had no knowledge of its sinking until 3 days later. The first day some of the crew died of dehydration, but many lived. It was during this first day that they would see the first sharks arrive.
Oh!
Survivors described the sharks as being 15 feet long. On the first day, sharks ate the dead. The ones who were still alive floated silently and listened to the sound of hungry tiger sharks ripping apart the bodies of their dead friends. Some of the men were so terrified of what they saw and heard that they just unbuckled their life jackets and voluntarily sank to their death. On the first night, the remaining sailors would come to understand what fate was waiting for them, as tiger sharks would come from beneath them and pull them down to be eaten alive as they drowned beneath the waves. Of the 900 men that went into the Pacific Ocean, only 316 were rescued alive. Hungry tiger sharks took the rest.
Please don't show us that happening to me. Or us. Oh, nigga, don't show me this, bro. I'm not, come on, bro. Come on, baby.
The story of the Titanic is possibly one of the most horrific stories ever recorded. A disastrous tragedy which encased 1,500 of its passengers inside a cold metal sarcophagus as it sank into the icy depths of the Atlantic Ocean. I read this story when I was about 8 because I was making a presentation about it for class at school. I read every book I could find on the topic and each one gave me a thirst for more information. It was only when I came across survivor accounts that I got that horrible, intense nausea and cold sweats again.
Yeah, I know, right? The horrible, intense nausea.
It's really hard to hear the stories of lower class passengers being trapped below decks with no option but to wait until the ship sank. Thinking of those people trapped, hugging their loved ones as they listen to the ship's steel creak and snap.
I'm gonna go out fucking, nigga. Fuck that. Damn that. I'm like, nigga, yeah. What game is this? Is this Outlast? What the fuck? Oh! Is this a real simulation of what it was inside of the Titanic?
The painful terror of waiting to find out if they were going to be crushed to death by the immense pressure of the deep Atlantic, or if they would feel the icy finger of death creep into their lungs and suffocate them. Even if you escaped the initial sinking, the Atlantic was filled with ice, and the shock of hitting the cold water would literally stop your heart or cause uncontrollable breathing of the freezing water around you. And there, you would die in the pitch black night, submerged in the freezing Atlantic Ocean. There are channels here on YouTube that run real-time simulations of the Titanic sinking, and when I first stumbled across them, I didn't for 1 second think that I would find a 3-hour CGI video of a ship sinking to be equal parts captivating and terrifying. I watched the entire thing, and it got more and more uncomfortable for me the longer it went on. By the end, it was almost unbearable. By the time the bow had raised upright, ready to sink, every cell in my body was screaming at me to turn it off. When National Geographic printed this photo of the bow of the Titanic, it immediately caught my attention. And before long, those feelings of intense dread started to creep over me. This photo of the Titanic encapsulates a lot of what thalassophobia sufferers are afraid of. The bow section of the sunken Leviathan is roughly 470 feet long, yet the ocean is so deep and infinitely dark that we can see less than 5% of it in this photo. We can see only a tiny fragment of a massive structure because the ocean is so vast and there is almost zero visibility even with powerful lights. The idea that something so huge could be so close to you and yet be completely hidden is a large factor in thalassophobia. If such a small amount of ocean can hide such a massive structure, then what else could it hide? While a lot of people would probably think it's pretty reasonable that I do everything that I can to avoid boats, this fear, like all phobias, manifests itself in unreasonable ways all the time. I struggle to look at some photos. Certain movies are insanely difficult for me to watch because I genuinely feel like throwing up the entire time.
It's not that bad.
And underwater sections in video games are nightmare fuel.
They are.
More so if the water is murky or dark. When open water was first released, I remember a lot of people saying it was kinda lame, but it terrified me. I never understood why. Bro. I found it terrifying and yet everyone else seemed to find it boring. In particular, these final few moments where you catch a glimpse of a shark at the surface, only to see many more hidden beneath the waves, is horrifying for people like me.
Not really, not that part.
Of how deep and cold the water can be. A lot of people's first account of being aware of this odd phobia usually begin with a swim at the beach. They swim out to sea like everyone else. It begins as a fun, relaxing experience. Just you, the sound of the water gently lapping and waves breaking. In the distance, you can hear the low buzz of people on the beach, which you can hear, but nothing individual. It's just
for context,
ASMR-like background
hearing
noise
this sound in
as
the
sun
background
beams
makes
down
me
its
want to do
warmth
this.
onto your back.
Like, in my brain, I'm going
And you
into
look down
self-defense mode.
into the water
You
beneath
can't
you.
fight water.
And where you
You can't
expected to
fight
see
water.
sand, maybe coral
can't
and
fight
some
a
smaller
shark.
fish,
You can't fight an octopus.
you see the
what do I
black,
do?
empty void staring
I
back
can't
at
do
you.
void. This don't look like void, but I don't
Your
like
breathing
void.
starts to increase.
Duh, nigga.
Your heart races. You didn't notice the drop in temperature until now, and for a moment, you're frozen on the spot, unable to move as if paralyzed by the terrifying infinity beneath your feet. When you feel able to move again, the sheer panic sets in, and you thunder to shore as fast as you can, hoping nothing happens to you. Only when you feel your feet hit sand again, does your heart rate start to slow.
Oh,
This
my
example is a very common first encounter with this phobia. The shock of meeting the dark, cold abyss face to face can be a powerful feeling. Part of what drives this phobia is that down in the deep, dark unknown of the abyss are terrifying creatures. It's a vast, unexplored territory, and we really have no idea what lives down there. What creatures we have seen are nightmarish things which look unnatural and seem designed to horrify you to your core. In the shallow, you can expect to find something which most people are afraid of out of the water. The sea spider,
Quit playing.
who will creep across
Quit
the ocean
playing.
floor towards your toes, using their huge 50-centimeter legs.
I kill
This
that.
species of spider lives in the ocean and feeds by inserting a long tube into its prey and literally sucking out its insides while it's alive. Venture down to the continental shelf for a photo like these divers, and you might catch the attention of a creature which looks like it stepped straight out of Ridley Scott's Alien. The goblin shark can be found in pretty much every ocean in the world, as shallow as the continental shelf and as deep as 3,000 feet.
Nigga!
This species of shark is thought to be a poor swimmer and uses a naturally buoyant liver to float silently through the ocean until it's within striking range of its prey, at which point it catapults its lower jaw forward so that its backwards facing teeth can sink into its flesh, preventing it from escaping.
I dated like 2 girls who could do that.
At around 6,500 feet deep, you can find the world's largest known cephalopod, known as the colossal squid.
Please note, some footage used here is of giant squid, not colossal squid, because colossal squid are incredibly rare.
These huge
They're even bigger than
monsters
giant
of the
squid.
deep lurking beneath the waves can reach over 40 feet in length and weigh a full ton. These squid are large enough that they are the main diet of sperm whales. They were thought not to exist until 1925 because in the deep ocean, it's very easy to hide.
Nigga! Y'all can't be doing this to BHD, bro. Y'all know I don't do big eyeballs underwater, bro.
One of these creatures could be lurking literally just a few feet away from you, and you would never see it coming until it decides to take you.
Motherfucker, please. Huh? Yeah, go ahead. I'll fight back, bitch. Huh? I'm taking somebody with me. I'm gonna do all the damage I can do. It might not be a
subset
lot.
of this phobia is the irrational fear of sunken man-made items, usually machinery. This phobia is known as submechanophobia. The sight of derelict machines designed to tame the fierce oceans, sitting sunken and hollow at the bottom of the ocean, can be quite a haunting experience and a reminder that man was never really supposed to ride the waves, as even our greatest technologies
What the
can
hell
be
is that?
wrecked
Is
by
that
an
a sea
angry sea
vagina?
in just a matter of minutes.
Is that an underwater vagina? Word?
One of the biggest factors for thalassophobia sufferers is the sheer vastness of the ocean. Point Nemo is a part of the ocean in which you're so far away from any living person that you're actually closer to the astronauts on the Mir space station than you are to any living human on Earth.
Oh, God.
This provokes very primal fears of the unknown, of the dark, and of being alone.
I don't give a shit about being alone. I just don't want to be alone in
There have been
water.
cultures throughout history that treat mountains as deities
Give a
and
shit about being
celebrate them.
alone, bitch.
People
I just
who
don't
scale
wanna be,
mountains like
in
Everest
water.
often describe the experience as spiritual and majestic.
Word.
Most people don't even want to attempt to visit the deepest ocean.
I'm not, nigga. I ain't.
And throughout history, water and oceans are depicted as violent, life-threatening places, which must be endured rather than experienced.
Pretty much.
There is no environment on Earth that can feel life-threatening, alien, beautiful, haunting, and terrifying all at the same time. There are no places more vast, and no other environment has destroyed so many technologies designed to tame it. Despite being the most vast environment on Earth, its desolate appearance and bleak visibility make it feel like a very claustrophobic
We got to edit that
place.
out, Drew. We can't. They can't see that. They can't see that one, man. Good. What the fuck? Come on. Y'all can't be doing this shit to me, man. You boy like a weapon or something?
And terrifying.
Yo!
All at the same time. There are
Okay,
no
I did
places
better.
more vast.
That's the most terrifying thing I've ever seen in my life. I ain't never seen anything more terrifying than that. Never in all my years. The only thing that even comes close to that is swimming underwater in GTA 5. That one time I got ate by a shark and revealed my gooch to everybody, unfortunately, that saw that video. Like, that was horrifying, bro. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to comment, like, and don't subscribe. It's your boy BlastphamousHD. Twisms!